Welcome to the CISS IDS team briefing. Today's today's briefing will mainly be about the idea, how we will be doing the IDS. But first, let me introduce myself first. So I'm Ivan Christian, one of the IDS team members who will be giving you guys information on what this briefing is about. We have Francisco and Mark here on standby. For any other explanations that might come or any questions that might be raised during the presentation itself or during the briefing. So do note that it'll be a much smoother experience if you can put all the questions in the meeting room chat box or wait until the end of the briefing to post all the questions. So without further ado, I would like to welcome everyone who has been in CISS before and everyone who is new to the CISS exercise. And I would hope that this CISS exercise would be beneficial to you all. So to give you all some information about the exercise itself, CISS is this CISS is the 7th International Critical Infrastructure Showdown. Basically for the IDS team is an event where you all can test your solutions, your detection mechanisms, and your detectors to rate yourself in the performance. So sorry. Right, so this is the CISS 2023 organizing team. The event directors are Prof. Aditya Mathur, Prof. Zhou Jianying, Colonel Tan Shenyang. The judges are ME6 William Teo, Delaney Ng, Matthias Yeo, Chong Ronghua, and the organizing secretariat are ME4 Benedict Tan and Mark Goh. So other than the organizing team, we also have the green team and the IDS analysis team. The green team lead is Francisco Furtado, with the members being Jonathan Tay, Andrew Tay, and R. Anand. So the IDS analysis team would be me, Ivan Christian, Dr. Gautama Raman, Andy Tay, Naga Siva, and Zhou Wen Tao. So this is a brief introduction of the organizing team, and we'll be happy to help you during the event or pre-event or if you have any questions regarding the session or the exercise itself. But let me continue on with why we are doing CISS. So the objective of CISS 2023 is to validate and assess, develop and understand the effectiveness of technologies developed by researchers and commercial entities with iTrust. We also would like to develop capabilities for defending critical infrastructures for cyber physical system, and also understand the tactics, techniques, and procedures for enhanced operation security. So yeah, this is basically the objectives of CISS. And now, some relevant. Yes, the slides will be shared, and the meeting will be recorded and uploaded to the website. So this is the IDS team timeline. So today is the 16th of June. The IDS team, this is the IDS team briefing. And from next week, Monday onwards to 18th of July, the IDS team systems are allowed to be installed in our system. We are giving everyone here like 1 month to make sure that all their systems are installed properly and everything. And we will be giving out a booking link later after the briefing itself. So from 19th July to 21st July, there'll be an active network scanning session for if you all need to probe the network, do anything reconnaissance related to the network itself. It'll be divided into 2-hour sessions. 2-hour sessions between these these dates. Next, one of the more important dates would be the 24th to 28th July, where it is the baselining sessions. It'll be mostly for the IDS team to passively do baselining for any baseline behaviors of the systems themselves, and yeah, basically to make sure that any anomalies during the exercise can be detected based on the baseline that you all have collected in these dates. So for the exercise itself, it'll start on the 18th of August up until the 24th of August. These are the exercise execution for you all to kind of like collect data and test your systems and solutions in detecting the red team attacks that are going to come in on these dates. Also, we will be doing an IDS evaluation by iTrust, a session or one-day session to basically kind of like standardize all the detection mechanism on and how we rate how we not really detect the performance, but how we measure up the performance between the commercial detectors and any other detectors that are participating in the cyber exercise itself. So these are the installation dates. So again, we'll be sending you all the booking links, and I'll kind of guide through all of you on how to book the sessions. But these are the relevant informations that you all will need to understand and know based on our current environment. So the days are between 19 June to 18 July, excluding holidays, obviously, and the timings are from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Systems to be installed in the iTrust SWOT lab. This is the address. Since the slides will be shared later, I won't be dwelling too much on this. And by default, we will be providing the following items for you to kind of like integrate into your system. So we'll be providing one RJ45 port, which will have an average of 700 Mbps throughput. We would also like to request you to bring your own cables and power strip, just to make sure that you all can have a consistent and tested items and equipments for the exercise itself. And we would also like to suggest for you all to bring your own SIM devices so that your systems are remotely accessible and there's no hindrances during the exercise, or say the Wi-Fi goes down or anything. So it'll be up to you all to make your systems remotely and consistently available for you all. So the baselining will be done once all the vendors finish installing by 8 August. Yes, 8 August. So this is the booking page that you all will receive once the booking links are sent out. So you can choose between the finals booking, which is the installation sessions, and the active network scanning. So yeah, I'm hoping that this is intuitive enough for everyone to kind of like see. But I'll just say that if you choose the you need to choose the CISS finals booking for the installation, and then choose your own dates and timings, and it'll be sent to us, and we'll reply the availability back to you all. Sound good? Okay, great. So for CISS 2023, the setup will be the following. So we have the usual Epic, SWOT, and WADI as physical test bed, but we're also adding up a gas pipeline digital twin, that we call GASP, for the exercise itself. So it's a new system that you all can test your solutions on. So hopefully this will kind of like give new insights for everyone involved in CISS. So this is the network architecture. So RT will have a form up area, and then they'll do their own thing. But the IDS team systems will be integrated through the RJ45 port, the span port, and then you all will be receiving data, and we will essentially during the installation period will help make sure that all the necessary data are coming in, all the traffic that you all need will be set up as much as we can. Right. So this is GASP. if you appreciate Lord of the Rings, you would kind of like identify that today this year's theme is Lord of the Rings. So yeah, that's an extra insight for all of you to appreciate the exercise a bit more. But yeah, guests will be under 172.19.1 network, and everything else is as seen in the slides. So this is the HMI, a sample HMI for the gas pipeline. So you all will be able to kind of like dissect more once the slides are sent out. And this is the network architecture. So we have the EWS on 200, we have the SCADA on 111, the Historian on 100, and four sets of PLCs and RIOs in the network itself. So generally, these PLCs and RIOs are just virtual Linux virtual machines, which will have like more details later. Yeah. So the protocols that I use are OPC, UA, and CMQ. And this is the next test bed, which is the Epic test bed. This is the HMI that you should see. For the previous participants who have participated in CISS, this would seem familiar, but for the newer ones, this is what we have in our physical test bed in SUTD itself. And this is the electric grid network. I'm sure you all understand and kind of like will dissect more once the slides are sent out to you. Yeah. So this is the HMI for SWOT. Yeah, SWOT. This is the network, the network diagram. I won't go too much into detail because that's kind of like, yeah. And this is for WADI. Again, sample HMI and the network architecture. So far, I'm hoping there's no questions. No one in the chat has added any questions, which is good.
Ivan?
Yes.
For the benefit of those who are joining us for the first year, maybe you can let them know what is SWOT, what is Epic, and what is WADI.
All right, sure. So for Epic, right, it's an electric test bed which uses the WAGO PLCs sitting on the subnet. The protocols that I use are the IC61850 protocol and the Modbus TCP. So this test bed is basically like a power generation test bed where the test bed itself simulates generating power and distributing power to what may be the homes to basically simulates power generation processes. And for SWOT, this is a water treatment test bed where it kind of like goes through and simulates the water treatment processes, where in stage 1 you have the water tank, and then stage 2 is where the water is chemically dosed, and then stage 3. So this is not a digital SWOT itself is not a digital twin, it is a physical test bed. The only digital twin that we are deploying is the gas pipeline. So where was I? All right, the backwash process, then the reverse osmosis process, and then water is then distributed back to either stage 1 or the water goes into WADI for distribution. So WADI is basically a water distribution test bed where it simulates a distribution of water through pipes and everything, and depending on the demand, it'll distribute. Oh, sorry, this is the water treatment network diagram. Depending on the demand, it'll distribute the water accordingly to the to the consumer tanks itself. So again, this is the water distribution network diagram, and yeah, so this is the procedure and the timeline that we will kind of like go through. So the alerts are set up such that we will be receiving the syslogs, and alert logging will be done during the exercise itself. Systems are to be turned on by 8:30 a.m. and please shut down your servers at the end of the day. During the installation, we'll go through this further and make sure that the systems are allowed to kind of like push the alerts to the gray logs. So yeah, these are the monitoring rules. The networks that should be monitored are the testbed networks, which were shown previously. You do not need to monitor the hypervisors or any other networks that are not listed in as the for the testbeds. Great. So now we go through how we will kind of like analyze the performance of each detector, be it commercial detector, researcher detector, or any detector that's deployed during CISS itself. So we came up with a session where there'll be benchmark attacks, where standardized benchmark attacks, where it'll be a combination of IT attack, OT attack, and IT/OT attacks to kind of like stress test your systems to detect the attacks themselves. Sorry if I said attacks too much. So this is the performance metrics that we have come up with, and each section will be kind of like explained in the slides later. So kind of yeah, this is the metrics that we'll be going through with. And for the first column, the component identification, you will receive 4 points. Oh, sorry, the performance analysis itself is point-based. So the higher the points, the better the detectors are performing based on the criteria that we already set. But for 4 points for identifying components, it'll be identifying the fail stage, where, say, example is stage 1, and then component itself identified. So in stage 1, there's pump 101. There's a failure type and reason for failure. If you can identify each of the criteria, you'll get 4 points. 3 points if you cannot identify the reason for failure. 2 points if you can only identify the component and the stage. 1 point if you can identify only the stage, and obviously 0 point if nothing is identified. Yeah. So next criteria that will be grading or reviewing the performance is the readability. So to a lot of people, alerts are very technical and hard to understand, and we want to achieve a standard where it is very readable to everyone, like to the plant operators or to anyone who kind of reads it. So we'll be using the Flash Kincaid grade level formula to measure how readable something is. So again, the scoring system is the formula seen, and if you would like to read more, there's a link that I pasted here. So but generally, if your score is more than 70, which is the equivalent of 7 grades or lower, can understand the alerts, you will receive 4 points, and the bands are there itself. 50 to 69.9 is 3 points, 30 to 49.9 is 2 points, 10 to 29.9 is 1 point, and 0 to 9.9 is 0 points. Okay, great. So the accuracy is kind of like a standard measurement of how a detector performs. So if you can accurately detect all the true attacks and have 0 false alarms, you get 0 to 10% false alarm, you get 4 points. 3 points for 70 to 89.9% accuracy, and 10.1 to 30% false alarm, and so on. So this is hopefully kind of like standard performance measurement. So I don't really need to explain so much about this. Now, for the responsiveness is how we measure the detectors performing in very critical situations. So if your detector can identify the alerts and identify the the attacks within the minute, you get 4 points. If it's within the hour, 3 points. If it's within 4 hours, which is the exercise length, 2 points. If it's more than 4 hours, then it's 1 point. And if there's an attack and your detector can't identify the attack itself, it's 0 points. So yeah, why we created this criteria is to make sure that the alerts are not stale and are not expired in a sense. And the response team can be fast and can fix the issue quickly. Now, we also would like to measure the performance of the detector based on the intrusivity. So if your detector is not passively monitoring the network and needs to be integrated into the plant itself, we will we will measure the disruptiveness of the detectors itself. So if, say, your detector is installed within the plant and it disrupts the system 1% to 1 to 20% of the time, since CISS is a set time length exercise, if it, the 1% to 20% can be calculated, you get 3 points. If it never breaks the system, 4 points. If it disrupts or to half the time, 2 points. And if it disrupts 50 to 99% of the time, 1 point. If it breaks the system, as in if it breaks the plant, while you are not supposed to break the plant while monitoring the plant itself, then 0 points. Sound good? Okay. Now, for the IDS evaluation itself, the 28th is when we'll do the standardized benchmark attacks, and we will be sending out this list of attacks to y'all for verification, for identification of the attacks itself. The report by the IDS team, by y'all, hopefully to be sent over back to iTrust by 15th of September 2023, because we would like to analyze the performance of each detectors themselves. Performance of the solution, again, will be based on the performance metric that I've explained previously. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have for this briefing. If you have any questions, feel free to unmute now, or I'll be reading out the chat later, like now. Sorry. So thank you for Abun for answering the questions. So if there's any questions, feel free to unmute or be unmuted and ask the questions itself. No questions? Great. Actually, not great.
Hey, Ivan, good afternoon. It's Gavin here from Fortinet.
Hi, Gavin. Yes.
Yeah, just a quick question. Like previous years, I think the iTrust team will have a sort of a single point of contact to coordinate with the IDS team in terms of what time the event starts, when there are breaks and things like that. Will it be the same again this year?
Yes. Or if Mark has other points of context, maybe Mark can chime in, or else
Ivan will be the point of contact.
Yeah, or yeah, it should be me.
Okay, thank you. So would that be like a WhatsApp group, or how would the channel be like?
The easiest, most surefire way would be through email.
Through email, okay.
Through email.
All right.
As I think you should receive my my email, the email that I sent out, and yeah, it should be the same email that I've been using to send out the invites and everything.
Okay, awesome, great. Thanks,
Great.
Ivan.
No worries. Yeah. Oops. Right. Yes. Great. Any other questions?
Oh, sorry, just one more.
Sure.
Will iTrust be capturing the PCAPs, and will that be shared with the IDS vendors as well?
I think the question is best answered by Francisco, please.
Oh, okay.
So from for the red team execution, which is the 18th, 21 to 24th of August, we will not be sharing those. So if you want to capture, it will be on your own. But for the evaluation, yes, we will be sharing those PCAPs on the 28th of August.
Okay, awesome. Thanks. And one more would be for remote access, it will be purely on through our own SIM cards, right? There won't be over guest Wi-Fi and things like that.
Yes.
There is a SUTD guest, but it is a 24-hour access only, so you have to reset it every day. So
right. Okay, so similar to the last few years. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, we are asking you to bring your own SIM devices. It's for your own benefit, because since the 24-hour limit, it kind of inconveniences people to have to come down, do the refresh and everything. Yeah.
Right, understand. Thank you.
And also for the benefit of teams that are joining us for the first time this year. So welcome to CISS. Do note that whatever that you deploy at iTrust, of course, we will try our best to ensure that access are only limited to those who are able to go into the room, but we will not be held responsible for any loss or damage. So that's one thing. And second thing is, once you deploy your systems there, during the execution of CISS finals, none of the IDS teams would be on site to monitor their systems. Everything is done off-site. So there are no IDS teams on site during CISS finals. So this is something for you to take note. So if you need to establish remote connections to monitor, to look at your systems, please find avenues to do that. Thank you.
A question from Omar Masri. Will the hacker team have equivalent access to an operator desktop or access to the device networks?
Can we go to the network area?
Sure. Sorry. Wait, did I go too far? Yep, I went too far. Oops. This one. Yes.
Yes. So for each of the networks, they will have to pivot in through a vulnerable target or some form of beacon before they get access to the network. So once they get into the network, if they are able to exploit and to get operator desktop access, that will be totally up to how the red team conducts their actions. But the how they get in, they will be made known of the vulnerabilities. Yeah, so these because it's an OT exercise, so we're not testing how well they are able to pivot in. Yeah, so getting into the network would be a simple methodology.
Let's see. Another question is from Yao Junyi. Regarding responsiveness, I believe that IDS are not connected to NTP. So how do you ensure that the time of anomaly will correspond to the time of IDS detect anomaly? So for the attacks themselves, we will have timestamps, and I'm hoping that during the installation, all the timestamps will be synchronized for both the IDS team and the system itself. So we will be checking and testing based on the timestamps that when the attack starts for doing the evaluation session, and when the IDS team detects the attack at the timestamps essentially. So if there's any lag or anything, it should be solved previously. But anyway, I hope that answers your question. Sorry. Will the mirror span port be provided to us, or we need Francisco? I think there's a question from Henry. Yeah. Will the mirror or span port be provided to us, or will we need to configure it on the switches ourselves?
Yeah, so all the aggregated traffic and deduplicated traffic will be sent to the aggregator. And then, so you just need to connect your one RJ45. Correct. Just connect to that port. So you just need to bring the cable and the span, and you get the traffic from all 3 test beds, 4 test beds, sorry. And to Henry's question, the solutions are to be turned off every day. The time, oh, okay. Yeah, we will see how we can do that. Because we have the gray log to sync all your alerts and attacks that are being conducted.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you, Francisco.
Just one question. Can we request for more than one aggregated span port?
If you require, so when you fill in the booking form, there's a bottom part of it if there's any other requirements. So for example, currently we are only providing passive network monitoring. So if you require something more than that, maybe if you want the data historian, or if you require more than one port, then you can request through that.
Okay, thank you.
Then we'll see how we can arrange the logistics. That's why we are having the briefing early to see what logistics are required to support your evaluation.
Oh, sorry.
Thanks, Francisco.
So who else? Have I or Francisco answered, or Mark answered all your questions as of now? Yes, regarding responses.
Yep.
Any other questions? I guess if there are no more questions, again, we'll still be happy to contact you or to answer your questions after the session itself. So if there's any questions, do email your questions and we'll answer it as best we can. But if there are no more questions, I think we can end the presentation here, unless there's anything else to add from Mark or Francisco.
So we will share the slides and we will send you the link to this recording so you can check back on it. Any other further questions, we will answer as and when we can.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hopefully this has been an informative session for you all. Okay. Yeah, should I stop sharing now?
Hey, thank you.
Thank you.